For over 25 years, men and women have been utilizing my services to find out if their spouse is cheating on them. It's a very trying time in their life. They need resolution, they need clarity, and they need the truth. As a licensed private investigator, you have to be consoling, you have to be understanding, and you have to listen to what is actually occurring in their life. We have to dissect the situation to find out, is their spouse actually committing adultery? In some states, adultery is still on the books as being a civil action against a contractual agreement of marriage that's actionable. In some other states, like say Illinois, it's a no-fault state. So you got to check all your state laws to see if something like this is actually actionable in your state. Like say in the state of Illinois, there is no law on the book about adultery. It's a no-fault state, which means that a spouse, if they want to, can have an affair, and it would mean nothing in divorce court. So let's get back down to the nitty-gritty of what to look for if your spouse is what I call is a louse. There's some tall tale signs. And even though it's been widely known that men are greater cheaters than women, it's very debatable in these modern days now. There is a rising occurrence of more married females cheating and committing adultery on their husbands than ever before. We talked about the percentages. It is alarming and it is increasing. Some of the tall tale signs sometimes comes within our gut feeling and our intuition as a person. What to look out for? There's things such as the loss of communication. That aspect is very, very important. Have you have a total, complete meltdown of communication, and are you just not getting along? Is there more arguments? That is a big factor too. If you do not have any simplicity in your life of getting along or going along with the show, and there's more arguments than ever, then that is a tall tale sign that something may perhaps be wrong. The loss of affection, of course, and the physical intimacy is a very big factor. Okay, if your spouse is not affectionate, or if there's no romantic interludes anymore, this could be a very big problem and a very big warning sign that something may indeed be wrong. Also, I'd like to talk about something called the unusual sexual sessions. If your spouse all of a sudden has picked up unusual habits of sexual arousal or sexual situations involving your marriage, that might be associated too with possible infidelity. And of course we have things such as weight loss, working out, and more self-preservation in a marriage, which that would mean that all of a sudden your spouse is doing a total 360. They're losing weight, looking good, buying clothes, buying sexy artifacts, buying lingerie, or buying a new cologne, or having a different hairstyle. So sometimes, I don't want to do a false positive, sometimes people can reinvent themselves or feel better about themselves. So even though that's a warning sign, you still have to decipher whether or not is there any truth or validity to this sudden change in their life. That's why it's going to be backed up by more information that we're going to discuss, okay? Late nights or different schedules. If all of a sudden your spouse is coming home at unusual working hours, or they're making up small white lies of where they've been, that's also another huge red flag. If they inquire different friends, if they're out late night bar hopping, if they're drinking, or you suspect drug use, this is a very different turn of events in a marriage that also might lead to them possibly cheating. We talked about arguments and whatnot, but differences of opinions also matter here too. Differences of opinions such as, hey, listen, I want to go to a warmer climate. I want to get a different job. I want to go back to school. I want something new in my life. Therefore, that might be something that they're looking for, a new person perhaps, okay, because they want difference. They want change. And that's something that you want to look for too. The other thing is about financial, okay, financial accounts being withdrawn. There's another big tall tale sign. Is there large amounts of money being withdrawn from the common shared account? This might be another indication that they're taking out money for another person's expense, or they're taking out money to showboat that person, or they might be taking out marital money to buy assets or another property or vacation properties that they could share with this illegal other person. So these are some of the tall tale signs that you have to take a look at in order to see if there's a problem going on here with your marriage. But deep down inside, the real truth is, what is your gut telling you? Now, women commonly have a very good, acute personality where they can have like a sixth sense. Their minds work a little bit differently because they're very articulate and they can sense when there's something wrong. They have very strong intuition. They can sense when the characteristics of a man or his physical traits are changing, or perhaps his moods and even his hugs are changing. The way he kisses is changing. The way he doesn't pay attention to the woman anymore, that might be changing. So there's a lot of different things that a woman can pick up on where a man, maybe being very practical, may not pick up on. So I hate to tell you this, but as a private investigator, women have a better job at hiding relationships, illegal relationships, than men do. Men are usually sloppy and careless when it comes to cheating. I hate to tell you, but it's true. Women, if they're cheating, are more articulate and their cover stories are a lot better, and they can get away with things for a lot longer, where men would not have a clue what's going on with their wife.